Let's go fishing. All right. Hey, friend, there's already one down here.
Come on, man. Should we try to catch a fish? Okay.
Hi, I'm Bob Jensen. This is Fishing the Midwest. Thanks for stopping by. Impulse is a new line of plastic baits that I've been really impressed with. I started using them earlier this year. Today, Naig and Mike Frisch and I are going to be using Impulse baits on drop shot rigs for smallmouth bass. It's a windy day, but the smallmouth are biting. After that, we're going to northeast South Dakota to fish perch through the ice with Taylor Anderson and his brother Blake. First though, it's smallmouth bass. Here we go. It was mid-September and Mike Frisch and Naig and I had been trying to get together for a day of fishing for a long time. Eric has been in the fishing business in a number of capacities for a long time. He's been a key player in the development of lots of fishing products. Mike is an outstanding fishing guide and angler and said he had been on a smallmouth bite that was really good. He was catching them using drop shot rigs and impulse leeches and jig worms. He said he had them figured out, and when Mike says he has them figured out, he usually does. The one thing Mike can't control is the wind. When we got to the boat ramp, the lake was rolling, and the heaviest wind was blowing right on the spot we wanted to fish. It was chilly, the water was rough, so we did what most anglers would do. We put the boat in the water and went fishing. We took it easy out to our spot. When we got there, we dropped our rigs in the water, fished about 2 minutes, and it was fish on for Eric. Mike really did have these smallmouth figured out.
No, Eric, I got one.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Apparently don't bite in the wind, huh?
Well, yeah. Well,
How's he feel?
he feels good. Look at him jump. Oh, yeah. It's a
Oh, look
good
at it
one.
right there. Yeah, see him?
Yeah, nice one.
They're all big, aren't they?
Yes.
Look at
Got
that.
him?
Whoa. Ooh, today's a windy day, isn't it?
It is windy.
They don't care. They
So
like to bite.
these drop shots, what I really like about them is you always hook them usually right in the top of the mouth, just like that.
Yep.
I don't know where my impulse leech went, but he must have ate it.
How big is that one?
2.5 pounds.
Yeah. And he felt bigger than it, didn't he? Yeah. That's okay.
Smallmouth always act bigger than
They
that.
do.
Okay, let's get him back.
Yep. In this wind, you want to be netting the fish. In fact, I always like to net the fish. It's just better for the fish. It's safer for the angler. But in this wind, we don't want to be leaning over the side of the boat trying to grab a fish. That's a good way to fall in. Those Fraybill Conservation Series nets protect the fish and store out of the way. Now Mike's calling for the net.
I'll help. I'll help.
Here to help.
What time's the wind gonna come up, guys? Oh, little jumper. Oh. They all think they're big.
Oh, whoa. Look at that one.
All right, now that one was on the worm. It was jig worm.
Nice color, aren't they? All right. Even in the wind, it's still fun. Woo!
Boy, the wind is blowing and the smallmouth are biting. When we come back, we'll catch some more. Stay tuned. Fishing the Midwest is presented by Bionic Line. Your fish, your line. Beautiful Cabotogama Lake, gateway to Voyageurs National Park. Evinrude E-Tech, 300 hours, no dealer scheduled maintenance. Nature's Fury, all the vitamins, more juice. Welcome back to Fishing the Midwest. The smallmouth are biting on impulse. This drop shot rigging is an interesting way to catch fish. Let's get back out there and learn more about impulse and drop shot rigs. The wind keeps blowing and the bass keep biting. Now it's my turn. Ooh, little guy. Ah, little guy. Oh, largemouth, look there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't very big. Let's get out of the wind for a minute and take a look at this drop shot rig.
The drop shot rig is a finesse type of presentation. It starts with the hook tied into the line and then a dropper line down to your sinker. And what happens is your bait fishes up above that sinker. Now this is a great finesse presentation because what happens is the weight obviously takes your bait down in the bottom. This is the impulse leech. And what happens is, as you fish this, you fish it very slowly, and that leech really swims and squirms just like a living natural leech. It's an awesome bait for catching bass, walleyes, panfish as well. Great finesse technique. And again, just the hook tied into the line, about a 1.5 foot, 18-inch dropper to a sinker, cast it out, fish it back, or you can fish it vertically as well. Drop shot, great finesse presentation for a lot of different species.
This is a rough one, but that Minn Kota is doing a very nice job of holding us where we want to be. We just start on the upwind side of the structure and using the electric to control our drift over the spot where the fish are. It's Eric's turn again. How are they hitting it?
Well, with this wind, what I'm doing is actually just kind of dead sticking it out there and letting it sit on the bottom. As soon as it hits the bottom, I'll bring it up a little bit.
Whoa.
Ooh, that's a nice one too.
Yeah. Ooh. Look at that guy. Wow. Jeepers. That's what we net
they're
them too.
So much fun.
But it's good to net them just to get them in the boat.
Oh yeah, you don't want to wear them out too much, but sometimes they don't want to even come in the net.
I know. A little closer, Eric.
Thank you.
Whoa. Look at that guy.
That one.
Yeah, and all the ones you've caught so far have been on that leech?
On the leech, yeah, and see where he's hooked right on top of the mouth. That's one of the things that is so nice about this drop shot rig here, is you always usually hook them right in the mouth when they eat it. Yeah, another nice one, about 2.5, 3 pounder.
Yep. Yep, isn't that fun? Mike, you know, drop shotting is not a new deal, but it is to some areas. What is it that makes drop shotting so effective?
Well, Bob, the thing about it is, it's a really finesse style of presentation. We're dealing with pretty post-frontal conditions here, and so it's a really nice finesse presentation for that. What you're doing is you're presenting a small bait, fishing it really slowly with some subtle action, and these fish are just eating it up today. And anytime you have a finesse bite, it's a great way to go.
Oh, these smallmouth bass are just so much fun. When we return, we'll catch some more. Stay tuned. Fishing the Midwest is brought to you by Impulse. Excite the bite with scent, color, and action. Fraybill, trusted gear since 1938. WalleyeLeather.com. If you are a truly rabid walleye person, you should have already had this stuff. Dakota Grills. Unleash your inner chef. Welcome back to Fishing the Midwest. The wind is blowing, the smallmouth are biting. This is fun. Here we go to catch some more smallmouth. There are bass all over this spot. Now it's doubles.
He hasn't jumped yet. Eric, how you doing?
Mike, I got one too.
Really? Look at that. Who can get theirs in the boat first? Yep. Here's Mike's right here. Look at that. Oh, that's a good one. Grab it, Mike.
I'll bring it up there.
Look at that one. That's a big one too.
There we go.
Look at that.
That's teamwork.
There we go.
Jeepers. I'm going to put a rod in the water. I'm just sitting here with the net.
Thank you, Bob.
I better get mine back. I think.
Yeah, who's bigger?
Eric's in. He's still a nice chunky fish. He's not the biggest one in the seas, but he put up a fight. Yeah, that's fun. That drop shot is an awesome technique. Look at that.
That's good, Mike. Got you 2 at a time, man, on these drop shot rigs. See, I was using the leech, but you had the jig worm on, right?
Yeah, I was drop shotting with that little jig crawler, that little 3-inch bait. Awesome bait.
Wow, this is some bite. It's pretty darn rough out there today. We always wear our life jackets when the boat's on plane, and today we probably should be wearing our life jackets while we're fishing, but we're not. Here's a PFD that we would wear. It's really comfortable. You don't even know you have it on. Mike, you know, safety on the water is such a big deal, and so much of the time what we do is we wear a life jacket when we're going across the lake in the boat at high speed, but then when we get to our spot to fish, we take the life jacket off. What's this?
This is Cabela's Tournament 3500 vest, and you would not really have to take this off. It's comfortable to wear all day long.
It's an inflatable.
It is correct.
So what do you mean inflatable? What's that mean?
Well, basically it's a CO2 cylinder that's charged up, and when it does go into the water, it will expand and it also has a manual backup to it.
So you can do it yourself?
You can do it yourself, correct.
And are these rechargeable?
They are rechargeable. They recommend every few years, even if they're not used, to recharge them.
Yep. And it's comfortable?
It's very comfortable. It has a nice neoprene collar and a padded back strap here, and an adjustable belt. Fits most people.
What are the sizes?
32-inch chest to 52-inch chest. This is Cabela's Tournament Series inflatable vest, available only at Cabela's.
Thanks, Mike. Now back to the smallmouth. Mike mentioned we're using the new Impulse plastic baits. Let's duck in out of the wind again to learn more about Impulse. Eric, you have been in on the ground floor of the development of a lot of different soft plastic baits through the years. How is Impulse different?
Well, when you're designing a soft bait, Bob, it's really, you really can look at three things. One is scent, color, and then shape and action, which kind of go together. So what we've tried to do with Impulse is really dial it in and look at the variables that we can control. Number one is the scent. We did a study with a leading university, fisheries university here in Minnesota. It's in our hometown where Northland Tackle is, and we proved that our scent attractant in Impulse is 143% more effective than the competitors.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And what that does for an angler is when you get the bite, the fish wants to eat the bait, so you can set the hook more often and catch more fish.
Is Impulse designed to take the place of live bait?
No, it isn't designed to really take the place of it. What we look at, because being from the North Country at Northland Tackle, we're all about using leeches and minnows and crawlers and things like that. We look at it as a great alternative to live bait, though. With, sometimes it's hard to keep minnows alive, or sometimes you can't take like leeches into Canada, those type of things. So what we've developed is shapes and colors and the scent that is a great alternative to a live bait.
There's a complete lineup of Impulse plastic baits for all types of fishing. They're soft, they come in the best colors, they're easy to care for, and the fish really like them. Give Impulse plastics a try. I think you'll like them too. Well, I hope that gives you an idea just how much Impulse can improve your fishing. When we come back, we'll be in the northeast corner of South Dakota catching perch through the ice. Stay tuned. Fishing the Midwest is presented by Northland Fishing Tackle, made by fishermen for fishermen. Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter of hunting, fishing, and outdoor gear. Ranger Boats, still building legends, one at a time. And Growth Energy, America's ethanol supporters. The northeast corner of South Dakota has so many lakes and so many fish. Two guys that really know the intricacies of catching perch in this area of South Dakota are Blake Anderson and his brother Taylor. Let's get out there and catch some perch through the ice and learn a little bit more about how you can catch more perch wherever you live. There's one. Wow. Whoa, look at that guy. Look at that guy. Ooh. He ate that little 4-inch minnow spoon. So now, still the best bite, Blake, you think is 15, 20 minutes away anyway?
That surprised me that one bit.
No kidding.
Yep. It's a good sign though. Real good.
That's a good sign. You like that?
Oh yeah.
Whoa. The northeast corner of South Dakota is one of the best places anywhere to go ice fishing. And Blake Anderson and his brother Taylor are two of the best guys to show you how to get in on this action. Blake works through Joe Honer's guide service. Blake, Taylor, and I got together last week for some ice fishing action. Blake, you told me you've been out here the past number of nights, and the fish hit about when the sun gets to the horizon. But you said it's still important to be out here early. How come?
I like to get out early actually for a couple reasons. One is, we're fishing that super clear water and the traffic, and I like to have my holes drilled and be set down and ready for them, so we can kind of almost camp out and wait till they get here and then go after them. And then the other reason is you can kind of see around us, it's kind of just to get a spot. It's getting to be more and more people showing up and get plenty of water to fish anyway.
The action had been an early morning, late afternoon deal. We were there for the afternoon bite.
Here we go.
Nice little perch.
Taylor, it looks like you got a school of them out here.
Yep, why don't you pop down in here? I think we got a couple more down there still.
And is the sun about where it needs to be when the bite starts, or is it still?
It sure seems like it, really.
Yeah.
About the last 5 minutes here, I've had 4 or 5 fish down there.
So with a school going like this out here, it's a good idea for us to move in this close, or at least get closer to you.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hurt nothing. Jeez.
Blake, you know, some places what we do is when we want to attract the perch, we bounce the jig off the bottom or the spoon off the bottom. Do you do that here?
Yeah, we do that almost every time we get to a new hole, Bob. We either drop the spoon in the mud and stir it up, or else even attach a weight to it and drop it down in the mud and stir it up.
There we go. Another good one there.
Taylor, you have definitely got the hottest hole out here. Not that I would do it, but if I would come over and drill a hole right next to yours, would that spook them?
You know, sometimes it will.
Yeah.
I think they're so thick down there now. I don't know if it would. Often what we'll do, you know, me and Blake, sometimes when we're out, we get one good hole like this when the other guy's
Blake's
coming
got
up,
pothole now.
and if we got one hooked deep and it's taking a while to get it out, we'll just have the other guy pop, and we'll just kind of keep fishing down the same hole and going back and forth.
Yep. I'm tying my baits to 4-pound Test Bionic ice line. This line handles well and is very reliable. Here comes one.
Just switched to Impulse Plastics here and got my first big perch out of this hole for a while. I got stuck on a couple of them little ones, and notice these plastics actually, it's nice to have them on right now. They're a little more, they last a little longer than some of that live bait, so you don't have to keep rebaiting all the time.
Taylor, now as the sun gets lower, the light decreases a little bit, the fish can't see as good. Do you do anything to make them bite better?
Yep, sometimes with these glow-in-the-dark buckshots and stuff, we'll shine them with an LED light so they can really see them when they get down there, but then you got the buckshot on top of it, so you got 2 things going for you at once, so that really helps. I got a couple more fish here coming up at me. Here we go.
That is a hot hole.
Yeah, I got 3 or 4 more of them underneath me.
And they're all nice ones, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Blake, you called this exactly. I mean, it happened exactly the way you said it would. The fish started biting when the sun hit the tree line. I mean, my screen is alive. Is that a particular time of year when that happens?
This year, it's not an all-year deal. Early ice and late ice, you can catch them most of the day. It also a little bit depends on snow cover, I think. You know, here we're not sitting on a lot of snow cover, so there's more light that gets through, and they just don't feed during the day. But mainly it's a midwinter thing. Seems to happen like this in the midwinter like we're in now.
We're experimenting with a variety of spoons. Buckshot rattle spoons and 4-inch minnow spoons seem to be the best. The 1/8 ounce size works well. When the bite slows down, try another color.
Seems like they're a little bit bigger marks too.
Here, got some. Bigger one. A little nicer one there. Impulse and live bait.
There we go.
The bite was actually better than we'd expected, but eventually it was time to go home. If you keep these ideas in mind, you'll be more successful fishing when the fish bite is early in the day and late in the day. Boy, you know, sometimes the time of day can make such a big difference in how many fish you catch. Keep that in mind, you'll catch more fish. Also keep in mind, impulse, plastic baits are fish catchers. Give them a try. Hey, for all of us at Fishing the Midwest, thanks for stopping by. Be nice to one another. We'll see you again next time.